Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that many people misunderstand: vulnerability. Most of us grow up believing that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. We are taught to hide our feelings, to cover our pain, and to act as if everything in life is always under control. But the truth is, vulnerability is not weakness. It is one of the greatest sources of strength a human being can have. Think about it for a moment. Every meaningful relationship in your life, every deep friendship, every strong family bond, every true connection was built on honesty and openness. It was built on the courage to show who you truly are. Vulnerability means allowing people to see your real self. It means admitting when you are afraid, when you are unsure, and when you are struggling. And while that can feel uncomfortable, it is also incredibly powerful, because the moment we stop pretending to be perfect, we give others permission to do the same. Many people spend their lives hiding behind a mask. They hide their fears, their failures, and even their dreams because they are afraid of judgment. But here is the truth: perfection is an illusion. No one has it all figured out. Every successful person you admire has faced doubts, pain, and setbacks. The difference is that they did not allow those struggles to define them. Instead, they embraced them, they learned from them, and they used them as fuel for growth. Vulnerability is the birthplace of courage. When you allow yourself to be seen, truly seen, you unlock something powerful inside you. You begin to live with authenticity instead of fear. You begin to speak your truth instead of hiding behind what others expect from you. And something amazing happens when you do this. People connect with you on a deeper level, not because you are perfect, but because you are real. Your story, your struggles, and your imperfections are not things to be ashamed of. They're the very things that make you human. And often, the moments we feel most broken become the moments that shape us into who we are meant to become. When you share your experiences honestly, you never know who you might help. Someone listening to your story may realize they are not alone. Someone watching you rise after failure may find the courage to stand up again. That is the power of vulnerability. It creates connection. It builds empathy. It inspires courage. So today, I want to challenge you to do something brave. Let go of the need to appear perfect. Allow yourself to be authentic. Speak your truth. Share your story, because the world does not need more perfect people. The world needs more real people. And when you embrace your vulnerability, you discover something incredible. The very thing you once thought made you weak is actually the thing that makes you powerful. In many cultures and societies, people grow up believing that showing emotions is a sign of weakness. From childhood, we are often told to be strong, to hide our tears, to keep our fears to ourselves, and to never let others see us struggling. Because of this belief, many people begin to think that vulnerability means losing control or appearing fragile. But the truth is very different. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is actually one of the strongest forms of courage a person can demonstrate. Courage is not about pretending that nothing hurts you. Courage is about facing your emotions, honestly, accepting your struggles, and still moving forward. When a person allows themselves to be vulnerable, they are showing a level of bravery that many people never reach. It takes real strength to say, I am not perfect, I am afraid, or I need help. These simple words require honesty, humility, and confidence in one's humanity. Many people build emotional walls around themselves because they fear judgment, rejection, or criticism. They believe that if others see their flaws, they will lose respect or admiration. But these walls often create loneliness instead of protection. When we hide our true selves, we disconnect from others. We stop allowing people to truly know us. Vulnerability, however, breaks these walls and opens the door to real human connection. Think about the moments in life when you felt closest to someone. It was probably not during a moment of perfection or success. Instead, it was during a moment when someone shared their struggles, their fears, or their pain. Those honest moments create understanding and empathy between people. They remind us that we are not alone in our experiences. Vulnerability also plays a powerful role in personal growth. When we admit our weaknesses and challenges, we give ourselves the opportunity to learn and improve. If we pretend that everything is fine, we stop growing. But when we acknowledge our mistakes and difficulties, we become open to change. Growth always begins with honesty, and honesty requires vulnerability. In leadership, vulnerability can also be a powerful strength. A leader who admits they do not know everything creates an environment of trust. When leaders show humility and openness, people feel more comfortable sharing ideas, asking questions, and contributing honestly. This kind of environment encourages creativity, collaboration, and innovation. Another important aspect of vulnerability is self-acceptance. Many people spend years trying to hide the parts of themselves they believe are imperfect. They fear that these imperfections make them less worthy of love or respect. However, accepting vulnerability means embracing the truth that no human being is perfect. Our flaws, struggles, and challenges are part of our journey. They shape our character, build resilience, and help us develop compassion for others. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we stop living in constant fear of judgment. Instead of trying to impress everyone, we begin living authentically. Authentic living brings a sense of freedom and peace that cannot be achieved through perfection or control. It is also important to understand that vulnerability does not mean sharing everything with everyone. It means choosing the courage to be honest in meaningful moments with people who respect and value your truth. It is about being genuine rather than guarded. Some of the most inspiring stories in the world come from people who had the courage to share their vulnerabilities. They spoke openly about their struggles, their failures, and their fears. Instead of hiding these experiences, they used them to connect with others and inspire change. When people hear honest stories of struggle and resilience, they feel encouraged to face their own challenges. They realize that difficulty is a natural part of life, not something to be ashamed of. At its core, vulnerability is about courage, connection, and authenticity. It allows us to move beyond the illusion of perfection and embrace the reality of being human. And when we do that, we unlock a deeper sense of strength within ourselves. So the next time you feel the urge to hide your emotions or pretend that everything is perfect, remember this truth: vulnerability is not a weakness to hide, it is a courage to embrace. Human beings are naturally social creatures. Deep inside, every person desires to be understood, accepted, and connected with others. Yet, in everyday life, many people struggle to create real connections because they hide their true feelings. They avoid talking about their emotions, their fears, and their struggles. As a result, relationships often remain shallow and distant. Being open about our feelings, however, has the power to transform these relationships into meaningful and lasting connections. When people openly express what they feel, they create space for honesty and trust. Trust is the foundation of every strong relationship, whether it is friendship, family, or partnership. Without honesty about our emotions, trust cannot fully develop. When someone shares their true feelings, it sends a message that they are willing to be genuine and transparent. This openness encourages others to respond with the same sincerity. Many people believe that sharing emotions makes them look weak or vulnerable. Because of this fear, they keep their feelings locked inside. They smile when they are hurting, they stay silent when something bothers them, and they pretend to be strong when they feel uncertain. Over time, this emotional suppression can create distance between people. Others may see the surface, but they never get the chance to understand the person behind it. Real human connection happens when people allow themselves to be seen as they truly are. When someone talks honestly about their experiences, their fears, and their hopes, it creates empathy. Empathy allows others to understand and relate to those feelings. Suddenly, two people realize that they share similar emotions, challenges, and dreams. This realization strengthens their bond and builds a deeper connection. Think about the conversations that leave the biggest impact on your life. Often, they are not casual discussions about everyday topics. Instead, they are moments when someone shares something meaningful, personal, or emotional. These moments stay in our memories because they remind us of the power of authentic communication. Open communication about feelings also helps resolve conflicts in relationships. Many misunderstandings occur simply because people are afraid to express what they truly feel. When emotions remain unspoken, assumptions and confusion can grow. People may misinterpret silence as indifference, anger, or rejection. However, when individuals clearly express their feelings with honesty and respect, it becomes easier to understand each other and find solutions. Being open about emotions also encourages emotional support. When others know what we are going through, they have the opportunity to offer comfort, advice, or encouragement. Without sharing our feelings, people around us may not even realize that we need support. Openness allows relationships to become a source of strength during difficult times. Another important benefit of emotional openness is that it helps people feel less alone. Many individuals believe they are the only ones facing certain struggles. But when someone speaks honestly about their experiences, others often realize that they share similar feelings. This shared understanding creates a sense of belonging. People begin to see that their struggles are not unique and that others have walked similar paths. Authentic emotional expression also encourages healthier communication habits. When people practice sharing their feelings calmly and respectfully, they create a positive environment for discussion. Instead of bottling up emotions until they explode, they learn to communicate regularly and constructively. This approach strengthens relationships and reduces unnecessary tension. It is important to remember that openness does not mean oversharing with everyone. Real connection grows when feelings are shared with people who listen with respect, understanding, and empathy. Choosing the right moments and the right people for emotional conversations is part of building healthy relationships. Ultimately, being open about our feelings allows us to connect with others on a deeper human level. It removes the mask people often wear and replaces them with authenticity. When individuals speak honestly about what they feel, they create trust, empathy, and understanding. Real connection is not built on perfection or appearances. It is built on honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to express what lies within the heart. When people embrace emotional openness, they create relationships that are not only stronger, but also more meaningful and fulfilling. Furthermore, embracing imperfections encourages humility. It reminds us that we are always learning and evolving. No matter how experienced or successful someone becomes, there is always room for growth. Humility allows people to listen, learn from others, and remain open to new ideas and perspectives. Another powerful result of accepting imperfections is creativity. Many great ideas and innovations come from experimenting, failing, and trying again. When people are afraid of making mistakes, they often avoid taking risks. But when individuals understand that imperfections are part of the process, they feel more confident exploring new possibilities. This freedom to experiment often leads to breakthroughs and discoveries. Ultimately, accepting imperfections helps us live more authentic and meaningful lives. Instead of constantly chasing an unrealistic image of perfection, we begin to focus on progress, learning, and self-improvement. We learn to value effort over flawless results and growth over perfection. Imperfections are not signs of weakness. They are reminders that we are human, capable of learning, capable of improving, and capable of becoming stronger through experience. When we accept our flaws with honesty and courage, we transform them into stepping stones toward a better version of ourselves. True strength does not come from being perfect. True strength comes from embracing imperfection, learning from it, and continuing to grow with courage and determination. Every person in life faces struggles, difficulties, and moments of doubt. Challenges are a natural part of the human journey. However, many people choose to hide their struggles because they feel embarrassed, ashamed, or afraid of being judged. They believe that showing their problems will make them appear weak or incapable. In reality, sharing our struggles can become one of the most powerful ways to inspire and support others. When people openly talk about the challenges they have faced, they create a sense of honesty and authenticity. Instead of presenting a perfect image of life, they reveal the real journey behind their experiences. This honesty allows others to see that success, growth, and happiness often come after periods of hardship and difficulty. It reminds people that struggles are not signs of failure, but part of the process of becoming stronger. Many individuals go through difficult times feeling completely alone. They believe that no one else understands their pain or challenges. This feeling of isolation can make problems seem even heavier. However, when someone shares their story openly, it can immediately change that perspective. People who hear these stories often realize that others have faced similar situations and managed to overcome them. Hearing about someone else's struggles creates hope. It shows that obstacles can be overcome and that difficult moments do not last forever. For someone who is facing a problem, hearing a story of resilience can become a powerful source of motivation. It gives them the courage to believe that they too can move forward. Sharing struggles also builds emotional strength and an empathy within communities. When people talk honestly about their experiences, they encourage others to listen with understanding and compassion. This exchange of stories creates a supportive environment where people feel safe expressing themselves. Instead of judging each other, individuals begin to support one another. Inspiring others does not require having a perfect life or extraordinary achievements. Sometimes the most powerful inspiration comes from simple, honest stories of perseverance. A person who talks about overcoming failure, facing fear, or recovering from disappointment can inspire someone else to continue fighting through their own challenges. It is also important to understand that struggles often shape our character. Difficult experiences teach patience, resilience, humility, and strength. When people reflect on their past struggles, they often realize that those experiences help them grow in ways they never expected. Sharing these lessons with others can provide valuable guidance and encouragement. For example, someone who once faced rejection may inspire others to keep pursuing their dreams despite setbacks. A person who overcame financial difficulties may motivate others to work harder and remain hopeful. Someone who learned to rise after failure can remind others that mistakes do not define their future. Stories of struggle also humanize success. Often, when people look at successful individuals, they only see the final result. They see achievements, recognition, and accomplishments, but they rarely see the long journey of failures, doubts, and persistence that led to those successes. When people share their struggles, they reveal the full story behind their journey. This transparency makes success feel more attainable and realistic for others. Another powerful impact of sharing struggles is personal healing. Talking about difficult experiences allows people to process their emotions and reflect on how far they have come. It can transform painful memories into meaningful lessons. By sharing these lessons, individuals not only help others, but also strengthen their own understanding and resilience. However, sharing struggles does not mean focusing only on pain or negativity. Instead, it means highlighting the strength, lessons, and growth that came from those experiences. The message becomes one of hope and transformation rather than defeat. Ultimately, sharing our struggles reminds people that everyone faces challenges at some point in life. No one's journey is perfect, and no one reaches success without encountering obstacles along the way. When people have the courage to speak openly about their difficulties, they create a ripple effect of encouragement and empowerment. Someone who hears your story today may find the courage to continue tomorrow. Your honesty may give them hope, your resilience may give them strength, and your journey may remind them that challenges are not the end of the road. In this way, sharing our struggles becomes more than just telling a story. It becomes a powerful act of inspiration that encourages others to face their own challenges with courage, determination, and hope. In today's world, many people feel pressure to live according to expectations created by society, family, or social media. They try to behave in ways that will gain approval from others, even if it means hiding their true thoughts, feelings, and identity. Over time, this constant effort to meet external expectations can cause people to lose touch with who they truly are. However, real strength that does not come from pretending to be someone else. True strength comes from being authentic and honest with ourselves. Authenticity means living in alignment with our true values, beliefs, and emotions. It means accepting who we are without constantly trying to change ourselves just to satisfy others. When we are authentic, we allow our true personality and character to be seen. This kind of honesty requires courage because it means letting go of the fear of judgment and criticism. Many people believe that fitting in with everyone else will make them happier or more successful. They follow trends, imitate others, and avoid expressing their real opinions. While this may create temporary comfort, it often leads to internal conflict. When our actions do not match our true beliefs, we may feel stressed, confused, or emotionally exhausted. Being honest with ourselves helps remove this internal conflict. It allows us to recognize our strengths, our weaknesses, our passions, and our dreams. Self-honesty is the foundation of personal growth because it helps us clearly understand who we are and where we want to go in life. Authenticity also builds confidence. When people constantly pretend to be someone they are not, they often feel insecure because they are afraid their true self might be exposed. But when individuals accept themselves fully, they no longer feel the need to hide behind a false image. This self-acceptance creates a deeper sense of confidence and peace. Atmosphere of trust. Others feel comfortable being themselves as well. This mutual openness allows relationships to become deeper and more meaningful. On the other hand, when people constantly hide their true selves, relationships can become superficial. Others may connect with the image being presented rather than the real person. Authenticity ensures that connections are built on honesty rather than appearances. Being authentic also requires accepting imperfections. No person is perfect, and authenticity means embracing both our strengths and our flaws. Instead of trying to hide weaknesses, authentic individuals view them as opportunities to grow and improve. This mindset encourages continuous learning and development. Another powerful benefit of authenticity is freedom. When people stop trying to please everyone else, they free themselves from unnecessary pressure. They begin to make decisions based on their own values and goals rather than external expectations. This freedom allows individuals to pursue paths that truly bring them fulfillment and purpose. Authenticity does not mean ignoring the feelings of others or refusing to adapt in different situations. It simply means remaining true to our core identity while respecting those around us. It means speaking honestly, acting with integrity, and staying aligned with our principles. Living authentically also inspires others. When people see someone confidently embracing their true self, it encourages them to do the same. Authentic individuals create environments where honesty and individuality are valued rather than suppressed. Ultimately, being authentic is an ongoing journey. It requires self-reflection, courage, and a willingness to grow. But the rewards are powerful. Authenticity leads to stronger relationships, greater confidence, deeper self understanding, and a more meaningful life. True strength is not about appearing perfect or gaining approval from everyone. True strength comes from the courage to be honest with ourselves, to embrace who we truly are, and to live our lives with authenticity and integrity. As we reflect on the idea of vulnerability, one truth becomes very clear: vulnerability is not nothing to fear, hide, or avoid. Instead, it is something to understand, accept, and embrace. Throughout life, many people try to protect themselves by hiding their emotions, covering their imperfections, and avoiding situations that might expose their true feelings. However, this constant effort to appear perfect often creates distance, loneliness, and emotional exhaustion. Vulnerability invites us to live differently. It encourages us to accept that being human means experiencing fear, uncertainty, failure, and doubt. These experiences are not signs of weakness. They are part of the journey that shapes our character and builds our strength. When we stop pretending that everything is perfect, we create space for honesty, growth, and genuine connection. We have seen that vulnerability requires courage. It takes bravery to admit our fears, to share our feelings, and to reveal the parts of ourselves that we usually try to hide. But this courage opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. It allows us to build meaningful relationships based on trust and authenticity rather than appearances. Vulnerability also strengthens our connections with others. When we express our emotions honestly, we allow people to truly understand us. In return, they feel safe to share their own experiences. This mutual openness creates empathy, compassion, and deeper human bonds. Real connection does not come from pretending to be perfect. It comes from being real. Accepting our imperfections is another important part of vulnerability. No one lives a flawless life, and mistakes are an inevitable part of growth. When we acknowledge our flaws instead of hiding them, we turn our failures into lessons. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more resilient. Sharing our struggles also has the power to inspire others. When people hear stories of perseverance and recovery, they realize that they are not alone in their challenges. Someone's honesty about their journey can give another person the strength to continue fighting through their own difficulties. In this way, vulnerability becomes a source of hope and encouragement for many. Finally, vulnerability leads us toward authenticity. It reminds us that true strength comes from being honest with ourselves and living according to our values. When we stop trying to impress everyone and start living truthfully, we experience a deeper sense of freedom and self-acceptance. The world often tells us to hide our weaknesses and show only our strengths. But the reality is that our greatest strength often lies in the courage to be open, honest, and human. Vulnerability does not diminish our power, it reveals it. So as you move forward in life, remember that you do not need to be perfect to be worthy, respected, or strong. Allow yourself to feel, to learn, to grow, and to share your story. When you embrace vulnerability, you not only transform your own life, but also inspire others to live with greater courage and authenticity. Because in the end, the true power of vulnerability is that it allows us to connect, to grow, and to live as our most genuine selves.